Yo, live. All right. Tuesday at 2, like 4 times a month, sometimes 5 times a month. We do Tuesdays at 2 at Social Advisors. Often I bring a guest. I'll bring Logan on or Mindy on and maybe Abby, Leanne, we can get some other people on here too. But listen, thanks to referrals and introductions and things like that, they're pretty damn busy. So we're going to spare them. Now, I am streaming on StreamYard. So I'll put that out there first, because what that means is, and hopefully StreamYard gets the feedback, I provide it every week. I can see comments coming in, but mostly the comments I see, I think, come from LinkedIn. And I see that we are actually only streaming on 4 platforms. Usually we do 5. So anyway, good service, not perfect. But hopefully they're improving that, and we're going to improve that with them. So we're on StreamYard. What that means is if you're commenting like on Facebook, hey, Echo's here. So I see LinkedIn comments. Echo, good to see you. So I see LinkedIn comments. I likely don't see Facebook comments at the same time. So it seems like I'm only getting LinkedIn comments. But we're just going to hang out for 5 or 10 minutes. I want to talk about gifting. Right. I've got a little PowerPoint. We're going to share that with you. We're going to do a quick search on LinkedIn together as well. It's a timely conversation about gifting, right? We are all figuring out gifts for employees, colleagues, clients, family, friends, right? So huge time of gifting in our lives right now. It's a busy time, right? Business is supposed to slow down, but actually all the planning we're doing for 2023. And if you missed us last week, you can catch us on our blog. We did 6 tips on goal setting, which I think you'll find useful. But it's a really, really busy month out of the year, right? We're planning all the holiday parties and everything else that we're doing, in addition to setting goals for ourselves for next year and reflecting upon this year. So this morning I thought, hey, let's talk about gifting today. Now, there's a lot of occasions to send gifts to your clients, right? You've got birthdays, even if it's just an acknowledgement, right? Even if it's just a note or a card or whatever that is. You've got birthdays, you've got anniversaries, you've got housewarming, you've got congratulations on something, maybe a newborn in the family, whether that's a child or a grandchild. There's a lot of reasons to gift. Now, everything I just mentioned, of course, Christmas, a lot of you are sending Thanksgiving centerpieces or cards or whatever that is. Everything I just mentioned is kind of expected, right? So what you find is that gifts at those times, they have the right impact, but they don't have the huge impact of the type of gifting that I'm talking about. Right. So we're going to talk about understanding who your clients are and using gifts to get more key introductions. Let me share my screen real quick and we'll dive right into it. Really, honestly, 10, 15 minutes today, unless a bunch of comments come up and we get into a conversation that way. But 10, 15 minutes today. StreamYard, where is your share screen? There it is. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now you go into this infinite tunnel of StreamYard screens until I click right here, and hopefully I got it set up. I do, but we're not on the so right now we're sharing screen, so which means I can't see the comments. I can't even see my own video, so I don't know what I look like right now. Hopefully I'm looking okay. We'll get rid of this design side here. All right, and I don't mind leaving this stuff open. Doesn't have to be a formal presentation, but this helps me organize my thoughts. Okay, we're going to talk about 4 tips to turn gifting into key introductions. But again, we're not talking about gifts for the holidays or gifts for birthdays, right? We're talking about whenever gifts, Tuesday at 2 gifts, whatever, right? So before we get into gifting, I want to show you this book, Influence. If you have not read this book, please pick it up or do it on audio. In fact, I was up in Aiken, South Carolina this weekend, about a 5-hour audio. It's a 5-hour drive. I think it was about a 6-hour audio. So I listened to Influence again for, gosh, I don't know, the 5th or 6th time. Influence is the 6 principles of psychological persuasion. It's written by Robert Cialdini. He's a psychologist, I think, at Arizona State. So what this is, it's a collection of principles that that indicate why people make the decisions that they make. And it's written by a psychologist, not a salesperson, right? So it's pretty cool. Now, so pick up Influence. We're going to talk about one of the principles, and that's the principle of reciprocity that's in that book. Number one, before we dive into reciprocity, understand that while prospecting and networking and growing the audience that you influence consistently is really, really important. Referrals and introductions are 4 times likelier to close than other sources. So if you're leveraging LinkedIn to meet new people, set up meetings, it's likely that you've got to have 4 of those meetings to find a new client to every 1 meeting that you have with a referral and introduction. So while you've got your prospecting strategy, also have a strategy for getting more introductions. Now, I don't necessarily like asking for referrals. I've watched a lot of advisors do it, most of them very awkwardly over the years. Referrals are great. You can say things like, "Hey, we're open for business," right? Or things along the lines of, "If your friends and family, need any help with whatever topic, just understand that I'm here and happy to help them," right? That's not asking for a referral. That's making yourself available. We're going to talk specifically about asking for introductions. Now, what's important is we understand the one principle, one of the 6 principles in influence, written by Cialdini here, is reciprocity. Here's the thing. Reciprocity, the human nature of reciprocity is that if you do something nice for someone, they feel like they have to pay you back. Right? That's a good principle to understand, because we're going to do something nice for our clients, and then we're going to ask for introductions, and they feel like they want to give us that introduction even more. So it sets the platter for getting key introductions. Okay. So the first thing that I want you to do is make a list of your top 25 advocates, right? We're going to walk through 4 steps to gaining key introductions. So the first thing, make a list of your top 25 advocates. Now, a lot of you who are paid by assets under management, of course, the asset level, that the percentage of the assets that you manage, asset level matters, right? Certainly, the more assets you manage for somebody, theoretically, the more revenue you generate from that client relationship, right? So assets, the level of assets matter, but it's not the most important ingredient, in my opinion, right? The most important ingredient is it somebody that you enjoy working with? Is it somebody that you want to grow around? So the first step, and this is something you can do in the month of December while you're getting geared up for 2023. The first step is make a list of your top 25 advocates. Your best advocates are going to be clients and centers of influence, right? They're people that already work with you. Now, of course, you can find other advocates, but important is someone who you know is happy to make introductions for you, right? Someone who has sent you referrals unsolicited in the past. If you enjoy that person, you want to build your business around that person, people like them, put them on that list of 25 advocates. Now, there's a reason we do 25, but we're going to get into that in a second, okay? Once you've got that list of 25 advocates, maybe put it down the A column of a spreadsheet. Number 2, know your clients and their friends, right? Here's what I mean. You don't have to necessarily know their friends just yet, because we're going to get introduction to them, but know your clients. I want you to know, if these are people that you enjoy, I want you to know what they like, right? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Right? Some of the basic stuff that we want to know about our clients. What do they drink? Where do they like to travel? What do they like to read? What kind of movies do they like? Right? Really get granular on having knowledge of your clients, right? Now, what I want you, if you don't know your clients, and second part of this, their friends, right? Their social network. We want to know not only what they like, but who they spend their time with. We're going to jump into LinkedIn here in a second. I'm going to show you how easy it is to find people that these people are already connected to, right? So know your clients, what they like, and their friends. So let me jump over into LinkedIn real quick. And again, I am not necessarily, there we are, I'm back on the screen. How you doing? Jumping all over the place here. I'm on LinkedIn right now. And I'm just going to pull up LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So I got messages popping in. LinkedIn's going off all day for me. In LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and again, those of you who have not really spent a lot of time on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it's an awesome query tool. It's great for finding, your prospects and people that you need to know, get acquainted with, add to your network so you can influence them for weeks and months and years to come. One of the cool things that you can do with LinkedIn Sales Navigator is if you've got an advocate of yours that's on that list of 25 in this area where it says connections of, and Echo, I'm going to use somebody we both know because she's got a great network. Type in your advocate's name, right? And for me, one of my advocates would be Nancy Kiefer, who heads up our local Chamber of Commerce here in Volusia County. You can see that Nancy has 997 connections. And then I know Nancy's lived in a few areas around the country. I don't really need people in New York or elsewhere. I'm in Volusia County, Florida, right? So Nancy's got 303 connections in Volusia County, Florida. For those of you who, like to do business with, let's say we'll find the C-level, the C-level folks in Nancy's network, and certainly she has a bunch of them, right? So here's what I've done is I've used LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If I am not good at sourcing the names of people that Nancy already knows, I can jump into LinkedIn Sales Navigator and I can find 78 C-suite people that Nancy's connected to in Volusia County, Florida. And if I sort that by second degree connections, that's going to remove everybody that Nancy and I are already connected to in common, right? So when I'm sourcing potential introductions, right, I want to know who Nancy knows. So that's just a real quick example of how LinkedIn can help you know who Nancy knows. Now, I could have done the same thing with Facebook. If I'm connected to Nancy, I could go in and see who Nancy communicates with consistently, who's commenting on her content on Facebook. She's active on Facebook as well. But this is a great way to take an advocate of mine and find out who she knows that I want to know, right? So now if we jump back into that PowerPoint presentation, now I know a little bit about Nancy. I know she's got a lab. I know she's married. I know some of her friends are. Now, the third step, once I've got that intelligence of what they like and who they are, and I know who their friends are, now I jump into the third step. I'm going to pick 2 people every month, right? So that's 24, but that's why I picked 20. I picked the number 25. It's a nice round number that you can aim for, but it gives you 2 advocates every month that we're going to send a gift to. Now, again, these are not birthday gifts, right? They're not Christmas gifts or Thanksgiving gifts. They're not anniversary gifts. They are gifts because, right? In the case of Nancy, I know Nancy's got a black lab that she absolutely loves, right? A really nice way to touch somebody's heart is by giving them a gift for their child or for their pet, right? That's something, they hold dear to themselves. So if you can think of something, and the less you spend, right? And the less you spend and the more thoughtful you have to be about that gift, the more that gift means. But it's pretty easy if we jump back into, if we can jump into Amazon real quick, I can find awesome, cool little gifts, right? If I go to Amazon.com, didn't have this set up ahead of time, sorry. But, it's for people who love Labradors. I spelled that right. Labradors. Labs. Maybe I didn't spell that right. There we go. $10.99 every meal you make, I take a bite. So, just a great way to find gifts for people who love their pets or whatever that may be. So your third step, as we were talking about, is to find a gift for 2 of those advocates. Now, you know who they are. You can pick out a good gift for them. Maybe they like a certain type of car, whatever that might be. Send a gift to 2 of your advocates monthly, something small, something, hey, I thought of you. Now, with the intelligence, we've just built some reciprocity in that relationship. With the intelligence, we sourced off social media. Of course, I'd much prefer to source a name in person, right? If you take one of your advocates out every month, right? Take them out for coffee or lunch and ask them, if you don't feel like you know them well enough, ask them, what do you like to do in your spare time? Oh, you golf? Cool. Where do you golf? Who do you do that with? You can start to source names by asking those who questions. So when you ask for a key introduction, instead of me saying, hey, Nancy, I noticed you're connected with so-and-so on LinkedIn. How well do you know them? I could say, hey, Nancy, last time we were together and had coffee, you mentioned your friend so-and-so that you golf with. Is that a good person for me to know? I'd love to get to know them. Perhaps the three of us can grab lunch one day, right? So anyway, I'm going to close down this screen share because we've gotten through the entire PowerPoint. See, I told you to be quick. If I can get back to the StreamYard. There it is. Stop share. Cool. So, and Echo, you're still the only person with comments. Gosh, if you guys have comments, send them in there. But gifting is really, really powerful. But when you send a gift for a birthday or the holidays, those are great gifts. Keep doing those. Gifting kind of for no reason. Hey, I saw this thing and thought of you. If you do buy something on Amazon, ship it to yourself, put it in a little gift bag, then drop it off with them, something along those lines, right? But the importance of gifting when they don't expect it is where you get that reciprocity from. So if you do plan on asking for introductions, or if they know, if you know that they know somebody you want to know, right? Be strategic, right? It doesn't mean it's contrived. It's still a nice gift for somebody. Be strategic, send them a gift 60 days ahead of time, then ask for that introduction because you've built this feeling of reciprocity, and human nature is they want to give back. All right. So that's the power of gifting. That's how you turn small, intimate, kind of, personal gifts into as many introductions as you want. 25 advocates, find out what they like and who they know, send them a gift based on what they like. 60 days later, ask them for an introduction. Pretty simple 4 steps. Now, if you want any more tips, hit me up in the direct message on LinkedIn. I'm much more present on LinkedIn than I am in any other social platform. And of course, you can always text me, set up time with me, social-advisors.com. My phone number is 386-846-5291. Have yourself an awesome Tuesday afternoon.